This
Maybe you
conference
might
will
have
now be
attended the
recorded.
last session, but since there are new people in this particular group, so I will try to explain at least some 15 minutes regarding the differences between what exactly the HANA server and what is the ECC server, right? So what are the major differences? Okay, so let me go to the one of the document. I will try to, for 15 minutes, I will try to explain. Then we will go to the system and we will try to execute some of the scenarios. Okay, so let me open the system. I think some people might have already attended the previous session. They know what exactly the difference between the ECC server and the S4 HANA. Okay, so let me go to the okay, so what is ECC? Can anyone tell what is the full form of ECC? What is full form of ECC?
Enterprise core component.
Yes, so we have ECC and nothing but enterprise core component. Enterprise core component. So regularly, every week in the regular sessions, we were discussing regarding the normal processes that are being executed in the SAP system. But at least we will try to discuss some of the special topics during the weekend, Saturday. Okay, so that is the motto of this particular class. So ECC is nothing but a enterprise core component, and this is the one of the version which was developed and used during the 1993 to 2008. Okay, so this particular version ECC is being used during 1993 to 2008, but from 2011 onwards, SAP came up with one of the advanced version that is known as S4 HANA, HANA and S4 HANA. Okay, HANA and S4 HANA. Okay, then what is the main difference between the HANA and S4 HANA? Can anyone explain? What is the major difference that has been taken place during the S4 HANA and ECC system? Yeah.
Database
Okay. So
change.
yes. One of the major differences between ECC and the S4 HANA is the database change. Okay. So database change, right? So ECC was working upon Oracle database and DB2 database. So this is the one of the change. This is one of the database that is being used during the ECC version. But when it comes to the S4 HANA, it is HANA database. Okay, so within the HANA we have two types of databases, that is cloud and the on-premise. Okay, on-premise is one of the database and the cloud is one of the database. So what is cloud and what is on-premise? On-premise is nothing but the servers etc. will be installed in your company or the premises. Let us say you wanted to have one software in your company. Whatever may be the servers or the database that is being supported will be installed in your company premises. Okay, so this is nothing but within your company premises. Within your company premises. But here it is not within your company premises, but it is the servers are being maintained by the third party companies like IBM, Accenture, Amazon. So those are the companies who will be maintaining the servers, but you are taking them on a rental basis. So whatever may be the rental charges that are there, you are going to pay those rental charges on monthly basis. That's it. You need not to worry about how to maintain a server, what will happen if the server crashes, what do I need to do. So such type of things you need not to worry about it. So everything will be taken care by the third party. Okay, so everything will be taken by third party companies, and you just need to take those servers on rental basis and use it over here. Okay, so this is the main change in the database. And what is the other change? The other change is Technically, what is the other change? Yeah, the table format. In S4 ECC system, the table format is in the row-based format, but here it is a column-based format. Column-based format. Okay, so what are the advantages of having the column-based and column-based format over and above the row-based format? What are the advantages? The advantages are reporting, also the speed. Let us say if I want to execute one report in S4 HANA, it will be executed in 1 minute. But if the same report, if I am trying to execute in ECC system, it may take almost 18 minutes. So HANA database is 18 times faster than 18 times faster than ECC database. Okay, why it is happening? Why there is a 18 times greater than speed compared to the ECC database? Because the database is nearer to the memory. In S4 HANA, whatever may be the database that we are storing, it is nearer to the memory. Okay, so here the database is nearer to the memory device. Nearer to memory means it is within inbuilt, within inbuilt. Okay, so it is nearer to the memory device. That is the reason you just keep it in your mind. If somebody asked, the database is nearer to the memory, but nobody will ask you why it is nearer to memory, what exactly it is there. It is a technical thing. So if that thing came into the interview or question, it will be asked to the technical people, not to you. So why? Because you are the functional consultant, right? You don't know how the system is working upon it, how the system is technically developed. That will be taken care by the technical consultants and the basis consultants. You are the functional consultant who will be taking care of functional activities. Okay, so you just keep it in your mind. The database is nearer to the memory device. That is, it is having the 18 times faster than the speed compared to the ECC or the database server. Okay, also the one of the other advantages, the speed of the reporting. Not only the speed, the reporting running. So here, in case of ECC, you can run the multiple reports in parallel. In ECC, in S4 HANA also, you can report the reports. You can run the reports in parallel. Means 10 reports in one go. You can execute by opening different screens. You can generate the reports. 10 reports you can execute. Here also you can execute, but the disadvantage over here is sometimes the program may crashes. Okay, sometimes the program may take longer time and it may get into the dump mode. That is the reason, if you wanted to have the, in ECC system, if you want to run multiple reports, what SAP did, because of the performance issues, SAP developed one more altogether a new module known as SAP BI and BO. So because of performance issues, SAP developed altogether a new module known as BI BO. BI and BO. What is BI? BI is nothing but business intelligence and business objects. So these are the two modules which was developed by SAP, which will specifically use it for the reporting purpose. Okay. So SAP developed altogether a new reporting tool, but what is the disadvantage for the client? If you think in perspective of the client, what you will think? You will think, again, I need to invest a lot of money on separate module. So that is the reason you need to go for the altogether a separate module, which involves a lot of cost. But here in S4 HANA, The reporting is inbuilt within SAP S4 HANA, known as Fairy functionalities. So it came along with one module, one separate thing known as a Fairy, FIORI, Fairy functionalities, specific to a reporting. So it will come along with the module specific to the module. SAP MM will come along with the Fairy. Means the reporting is inbuilt as a single package within S4 HANA. If you buy S4 HANA, the reporting tool, Fairy also will come into the default. It will be provided by SAP as a reporting tool. You need not to buy it separately. It will be coming as a single package. Okay. Then what is the other what is the other changes they did? The other changes what they have done is the programs.
Characters.
Okay. So the other thing what they have done is the programmings. In ECC, there are so many programs which was developed by SAP system, right? So those are compatible enough to work with the ECC server or the Oracle and the DB2 database server. But when they migrated from ECC to S4 HANA, they have modified the programs. They simplified the programs. Why they need to simplify the programs? Because whatever may be the programs that are available in ECC or the database of the Oracle or DB2, if I simply transfer them into the HANA database, sometimes those programs may not be able to cope up with the S4 HANA server details or the server. So that is the reason they have modified the programs which are available on the ECC, and they made it compatible enough to the HANA database server so that there will not be any performance issues, etc. Okay, so what is the other advantage of other changes what they have done? They have simplified the programs. Simplification of programs in S4 HANA means if you simplify the programs, what is the advantage? The advantage is your technical team will be able to, their technical teamwork will be reduced drastically. Means, let us say in S4 ECC system, there is one, if you post one transaction, like in SAP materials management, there is one transaction known as goods receipt process. So if you do the goods receipt, what will happen? If you process the goods receipt in ECC system, it will update 26 different tables. Okay, like there is one transaction code known as MIZO. If you post MIZO transaction code, there will be 26 tables getting updated. So what is the, let us say I am the technical consultant, I want to generate one report in Oracle database. So what I will do, I want to fetch the logic. I need to write the logic based upon fetching the data from 26 tables of the different fields. Okay, so here if I want to generate or develop a report as a technical consultant, I need to write a complex logic. Why it is complex logic? Because I need to fetch the data from 26 different tables. So here it will be a complex logic for development team. But here, if you post the goods receipt by using the same transaction code MI0, okay, so it is only one table is getting updated. Why? Because they have compressed all 26 tables into a single table known as mat doc table, material document table, nothing but a material document table, material doc table. So whatever may be the 26 tables that are getting updated over here is compressed into a single table known as material document table. Okay, so what is the advantage of having one table? The advantage is if I want to build same report, which I am trying to build it in ECC, I need to write the logic based upon only one single table. So which will drastically reduce the complexity of the program. So here the program is a simple program. So there is no complexity involved over here. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of having the simplification of the tables that are available in the S4 HANA server. Okay, so these and all the things in terms of technicality, but when it comes to the functionality, so what is the difference between these are the technical differences. Okay, if somebody asked what are the technical differences between the ECC and S4 HANA, you need to tell these things. But when it comes to the SAP functionalities, functionally, what are the differences? Functionally, the differences are material number. Okay, material number size, right? Material number is a 18 character in max length. But here, the material number size is a 40 character length. Okay, so I will just show it to you. Also, not only the material length, you have various transactions, right? You have, if you want to create a vendor master data in SAP ECC server, you will go for the multiple transaction codes like vendor master, right? Vendor master, if I want to create, I will use xk01, xk02, xk03, right? Or mk01, mk02 and mk03, right? And fk01, fk02 and fk03, right? So these are the various transaction codes that you are using for the vendor master data creation. Okay, so xk01 will be centrally. If you want to create a vendor master data centrally, you can use xk01. If you want to use it purchasing organizational data maintenance of a vendor master, you will use mk01. Finance or the company code data of the vendor master data you are going to maintain by using fk01. But also you have one more thing known as a customer master data, right? So in the sales and distribution module, you have customer master data. Customer master data. If you want to create a customer master data, you are using the XD01, XD02, and XD03 for the creation of the customer, vendor, and the display of the creation of the customer master data, change, and the display. So these are the three transaction codes which you are going to use to create the customer master data. Okay, but if you go to the S4 HANA server, we don't have any individual transaction code for the creation, change of the vendor master data or the customer master data. They have compressed this thing into only one transaction code that is known as a BP. BP is nothing but a business partner. BP is the transaction code. Okay, by using BP, I will be able to create vendor master data as well as the customer master data. Okay, but how BP is working? BP is working based upon the roles. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So BP is the one of the transaction code which I will be using in S4 HANA server. And if you are using BP, you don't have any different transaction codes over here, but instead you are going to use it the role based selection over here. Here you will have multiple roles, like for the vendor master creation of for the vendor master purchase org data creation, I will be using the role as FLVN01, and for the company code data of the vendor master data, we are going to use company code of vendor master. we are going to use the role as FLVN00. Okay, but for the customer master sales org data of the customer, sales org data of customer, you are going to use it FLCN001. FLCN01 is the role, and for the company code data of the customer, you are going to use the role as FLCN00. Okay, so these are the some of the differences between the ECC and the S4 HANA. Okay, apart from this, there is also a configuration changes. Okay, so in case of the vendor master data, you are going to create the configuration as a vendor account group and create number ranges and assign those number ranges to the vendor account group. But here, you are there in the vendor master creation, or vendor master creation is done, right? Completed, right, for us? Okay. Okay. Okay, so but in case of the business partner, there will be some additional configurations which we have to do. Apart from the vendor account group, we also need to create the BP grouping, right? You need to create the BP grouping. Again, you need to create number ranges for BP grouping. Create number range for BP grouping. Then assign number range to the BP grouping. Assign number range for BP grouping. So this is the additional configuration which we need to perform as a part of BP grouping or business partner. Okay, apart from this, there are so many other things also. The screen sequence, everything is completely different. Okay, if you see S4 HANA, the screen sequence of the vendor master and the customer master and the visualizing appearance of the BP transaction code is completely different from the XK01 and XK02 as well. Okay, so what are the other advantages of S4 HANA and ECC compared to the ECC? The other advantages or changes are, can anyone tell what is the other change? Yeah, so material ledger is by default active in the S4 HANA. So material ledger, there is one functionality known as the material ledger. Material ledger is by default active in S4 HANA. So material ledger is one of the concept for the controlling or the finance module. Okay, so you need not to know completely what is material ledger, but somebody asked what is material ledger, then you need to tell it will be handled by the controlling module or the finance module. Okay, but if you have the knowledge on the material ledger, you have very good market in the SAP field. Hmm? Currency types, everything will be created by finance team only, not consultant. Currency types, exchange rates, company codes, there are so many things. Tax, everything will be taken care by the finance consultants only. Okay, somebody is pinging in the chat. When I tried, I activated manually. Okay, so you need to activate material ledger by using OMX1, OMX2 and OMX3 and the CKM start to transaction codes. Okay, so those are the transaction codes which will be used to activate the material ledger. I will try to write it down over here. OMX1, right? Or OXM1. OMX1, OMX2 and OMX3 and CKM start. So these are the transaction codes which we need to use it for the activation of the material ledger. Okay, but in ECC, material ledger is not active by default. If you want to activate, you can activate in ECC separately. Okay, so that is the one of the difference between the ECC and the S4 HANA server. Okay, then what is the other difference between ECC and S4 HANA? The other difference is output type determination. Okay, so output type determination, you are going to do it in ECC by using the transaction code NACE. So NACE is the transaction code, is the T code used for output type determination. But here you are going to do the NACE is also available over here in S4 HANA, but along with there is something known as a BRF plus mappings. So BRF plus mappings is one of the functionality which you are going to use it for the output type determination. But what is output type? Huh? Yeah, output type means there are output type will come into picture in many ways in SAP. Like you are generating the PDF format of a purchase order or the purchase requisition or the goods receipt note or the reservation printout. So then these things will be coming into picture. Apart from that, if you wanted to have the some interface developed, like there is one concept known as a interface, right? Interface is nothing but from SAP system, if you want to transfer some data to the Oracle system or Tally system, you can transfer. Let us say in my company, I am using the SAP system and my vendor is there, he is using the Oracle system. So I want to I generated one purchase order in my SAP system. I want to transfer that particular purchase order automatically to the Oracle system of the vendor. I don't want to give any physical copy for the vendor for the purchase order printout. Whenever I created the purchase order in my SAP system, it should automatically create a purchase order in the Tally Oracle system of the vendor. So how it will happen? It will happen by one of the functionality known as the electronic data interchange functionality, EDI. Also that particular functionality I will be calling as the interface. So if you develop a interface between the SAP system and the Oracle system of the vendor, so the data will be automatically getting transferred via electronic data interchange interface. So if you wanted to do the interface development, then also there will be a output type and the requirement routine configurations, etc. will be coming into picture. So that type of functionality will be handled by using the BRF plus mappings in S4 HANA, but in case of ECC, we are going to use it. The NACE is only the functionality for the output type determination. Okay, any doubts over here? Are you able to follow or are you getting or not?
Okay, sir, fine.
Huh? NACE is not a IDOC, it is a output type. So let me show it to you. I will just try to show it to you. What is IDOC is one of the structure, like you want to transfer some data from SAP system to Oracle system. So what and all fields of the purchase order you want to transfer, not complete purchase order, right? Whatever maybe the mandatory fields are there, those fields you want to transfer to the Oracle system of the vendor. So how you are going to transfer? It should be in a structured way, right? So that particular structure is nothing but a IDOC. But when it comes to the output, how this particular IDOC will be triggered? What is the basis and what are the parameters on which it is going to trigger? So those parameters you are going to define in the output type. Okay, so I will show it to you what exactly the output type is. Okay, so I will go to the ME23N. Okay, so I will go to the document overview of, let us see, somebody created the purchase order. I just want to see the messages, right? Here you see there is something known as a, yeah, I am logging in ECC server only. Okay, so I will go to the messages. See, this is the output type, right? So for the purchase order PDF format printout, so the SAP standard output type is NEU. Okay, if somebody asked in the interviews what is the output type for the purchase order, you just need to say NEU is the output type for the purchase order printout. This is the SAP standard. Okay, for this particular output type, there will be a program which is getting assigned to it, or there will be one program which is being defined and assigned to that particular output type. Okay, where you are going to define and assign that particular output type? So that is under NACE. I will go to the NACE trace. NACE is the transaction code. Here I will select the purchase order, right? So this is the purchase order. I will go to the output types. I will put NEU. So NEU is the purchase order output type. I will select. I will go to the processing routines. So here, this is the program, right? This is the purchase order printout program somebody developed. So this particular program, I am trying to assign it to the printout of the purchase order. So I can send a purchase order to the vendor. I can take the printout, I can send to the vendor. I don't want to take the printout, I want to send a fax copy of the purchase order. So I can send a fax copy as well. I can send EDI. EDI is nothing but electronic data interchange. I can send simple mail. I can generate the PDF format and I can simply send that particular PDF format to the vendor email account. So there are multiple options over here, right? There is also one thing known as a distributing via ALE. It is nothing but a IDOC functionality. So there are various ways you can send this particular purchase order to the vendor. Let us say if I select a printout and I will double click on it, here you will see for this particular output type NEU and the transmission medium print output, what is the relevant program? This is the program. And what is the routine and what is the form type? Form type means there are A4 size form, like that the various forms are there. So you just need to select the relevant form which is valid for this particular purchase order printout. So all those configurations you are going to maintain in the database server ECC or the Oracle by using the transaction code NACE. Are you getting or any confusion over here? Okay, but if you start working upon it at least in any one of the project, then you will get all these things. It will take little bit of time. In one day, you are not going to learn these things. Why? Because SAP is a huge software, right? So it will take at least some period of time to learn all these things. It will not come by overnight. Okay, you need to do some project, at least 2 to 3 projects, then you will get clear cut understanding. Okay, let me now go to the, so this is the way I am going to maintain the NACE transaction to generate a output in ECC server. But the same thing I will be going into the S4 HANA where I will be doing by using the BRF plus mappings. Okay, let me open S4 HANA server. Okay, so this is one of the S4 HANA server for which I have the login credentials. So I will just double click on it, SAP logon. So here you see this is the SAP server which I am using it over here. What happened? Okay, I will just double click on it. So the password and the user ID details, I'm going to provide it over here. Okay, so I have the transaction code as NACE over here. So I can have NACE to maintain the output type determination. Also, I have one more functionality known as a BRF plus. So by using the BRF plus functionalities as well, I can go and maintain the settings for the output type determination. Okay, but how this will be doing, I also never did it, but this is the way. S4H48, right? Welcome 123. I also never used this functionality, but I just want to show it to you how exactly a BRF plus mapping tables will be available. So this is the place where you are going to maintain the BRF plus mappings for the output type determination. Okay, but I also never used this particular functionality. I will check and I will let you know how to maintain all those things over here. I think you need to create an application, then like that you just need to get into the system. Okay, you need to create an application search. So BRF is nothing but Business Rule Framework Plus. Nothing but a BRF Plus. The full form of BRF Plus is Business Rule Framework Plus. Okay, so this is the place where you are going to do the output type determination in S4 HANA if you are using S4 HANA, not NACE. Okay, then what is the other advantages, other changes of the S4 HANA? See, this is the place where you are going to do the various settings. Okay, but let me show it to you when I also try to learn these things. Okay, then what is the other change compared to the S4 HANA and the ECC? The other change is the flexible workflow functionality. What is workflow? Flexible workflow functionality. But what is workflow? Workflow is nothing but one of the automatic mail triggering functionality. Let us say I am the, let us say purchase order purchase requisition release strategy or the approval mechanism. The purchase requisition will be initially created by the supervisor of the procurement department. Then his manager, like assistant manager of the procurement department, will review and he will approve it. Once he reviewed and approved it, manager of the procurement department will review and he will also try to approve or reject it. But how? Let us say I created the purchase requisition or the order in the purchasing department. How my boss will come to know that a particular requisition is pending for his review or the approval? How he will come to know? He will not come to know, right? So if he wants to come to know what exactly the requisitions that are pending for release, at least we need to communicate to him or we need to inform him. How you will inform? You can manually tell him, sir, this purchase requisition is pending for approval. Then he will check and he will approve it. Otherwise, you don't want to tell him manually. Your system should automatically send a reminder to the your boss or the manager stating that so and so purchase requisition is pending for release. Could you please approve or reject it? So those are the ways you can work upon it. So if you want, if your system wants to send automatically a mail communication to the your boss or manager, then you can develop one of the functionality known as a workflow functionality. So this particular workflow functionality is available in SAP ECC for the purchase requisitions and the purchase orders. There are so many other places where you have this automatic workflow functionality. But the same functionality Along with the same functionality, you also have one thing known as a flexible workflow mechanism. Flexible workflow mechanism means the workflow settings are coming as a single package along with the S4 HANA. You need not to do anything. It will be automatically available in the S4 HANA server by default. You created one purchase order. If it matches the characteristics or the parameters that are defined in the flexible workflow functionality, it will automatically trigger the mails. You need not to do anything over there. So such type of functionality is the flexible workflow functionality. So the flexible workflow functionality is one of the other new concept in the S4 HANA system. Then apart from this, what is the other differences? The other differences is the data load activities programs. So if you want to create mass material master, mass vendor master, in ECC you are going to use one transaction code known as LSMW, right? So if you mass creation of the master data, mass creation of master data, in ECC you are going to use mass creation of the master data tool as a LSMW. So it is nothing but a legacy system migration workbench. Okay, but in case of S4 HANA, you can use LSMW as well. Apart from the LSMW, there is one more functionality known as a LTMC. LTMC is nothing but a legacy system transformation migration workbench cockpit. Okay, LTMC is nothing but a legacy data transformation migration cockpit. Okay, so these are the some of the advantages when it comes to the ECC and the S4 HANA servers. Okay. Material types are same. There is no changes in the material types. Number ranging, assignment, everything same. But when it comes to the vendor master data, yeah, in when it comes to the vendor master data, there are differences. Okay. So any doubts still here? Any doubts still here? Why? Because this is one of the most important interview question in the interviews. The interviewer will ask what are the differences between the ECC and the S4 HANA. So you should be able to explain these differences which I am trying to explain it to you now. Okay. Okay, now let me get into the one of the other functionalities. How a vendor master data can be created in the S4 HANA. What are the configurations that we need to perform? Okay, we will see these things. Maybe it is a repetition for some of the people, but there are other people in the class, so that we will be able to discuss these things, and the rest of the functionalities we can discuss in the next class. So I will try to continue in a sequential manner as well, so that everybody will be in sync. Okay, so we discussed, right, in S4 HANA we are going to create the vendor master data, the customer master data with the transaction called business partner. So what configurations we need to perform as a part of S4 HANA, we will see. So what configurations we did it in ECC? If you want to create a vendor master data, in ECC, if you want to create a vendor master data, you are going to create the configurations of vendor account group and the number range, and assign those number ranges to the vendor account group, right? In the same way, in S4 HANA also, I will be going to create a vendor account group first, then I will be creating the number ranges, then I will be creating the business partner role and the business partner role number ranges, and I will be assigning the business partner role number range to the BP number grouping. Are you able to understand, or any confusing?
No, something
Huh?
missing, sir. Can you repeat again, sir?
What is missing?
Business, some assignment, sir. Some assignment is telling me.
Assignment. Yeah, that is what I am trying to show it to you now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so in S4 HANA, if you want to create a vendor, ECC, everybody is clear, right? How to create vendor account group, how to create number range, and how to assign those number range to the vendor account group. This is clear, right? But in this class, we will try to discuss about the S4 HANA configurations, right? For the vendor master or the BP creation. Any doubts? Huh? మీకు స్టార్ట్ అవ్వలేదు కదా ఓకే సేమ్ వే యూ జస్ట్ సీ ఇట్ ఇన్ హౌ ఐఎమ్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఇన్ S4 HANA. Same way we are going to create in ECC as well, but in S4 HANA there are little bit of minor configurations extra compared to the ECC. Okay, so if you want to create a business partner vendor in S4 HANA, you are going to do two configurations. One is create vendor account groups and create number ranges then assign number ranges to vendor account groups. Okay, apart from this configuration is common in ECC as well as S4 HANA. If you are using ECC or S4 HANA, you need to do this configuration at any cost. Okay, but when it comes to the S4 HANA, what other settings we need to do? The other settings are you need to create a BP account group, nothing but a business partner account group, and create number ranges for the BP grouping. Create number ranges for BP grouping. Then assign number ranges to the BP grouping. So these are the extra configurations that we need to perform as a part of S4 HANA. So I will go to the BP account grouping. BP account group. Right. So let me try to, apart from this BP grouping and create number ranges for the BP grouping, assign number ranges to the BP grouping, we also need to do some of the additional configurations like master data synchronization, think configuration, master data synchronization configuration. So this is one of the additional configuration which we need to perform as a part of S4 HANA when you are creating a business partner. So let me try to do this particular configuration where I am doing this particular configuration in S4 HANA. So I will go to the SPRO configuration. So I will go to the SAP reference implementation guide. Then financial accounting, right? So I will go to the financial accounting. I will go to the account receivables and the payables, vendor accounts, master data. So preparations for creating the vendor master data and define account groupings with screen layout. So I will go to the define account groupings with screen layout. I will select, I will copy, I will create one of the vendor known as ZI01 or ZM01. This is nothing but a vendor account group for the domestic vendors. So domestic vendor account group. So this is the vendor account group which I have created. I will just save it. So this is the normal configuration. If it is ECC or S4 HANA, you need to create same thing. Both the systems you need to create. Then I will create one number ranges. Where I will create the number ranges? I will create the number ranges under create number ranges for the vendor account groups, go to the intervals. So I will take any one of the number range. You already know how to create a vendor number range. So that is the reason I am not going to repeat it over here. I can take any one of the existing number range which is being created for the vendor. That is, I will take 08. Okay, so I will take 08 over here. Then I will assign number range to the vendor account group. Where I will do that? I will go to the assign number ranges to the vendor account groups. So what is the vendor account group? ZM01. For the ZM01, I will assign the number range as a 08. So this is the configuration. Whether it is a ECC server or S4 HANA server, you need to create the same thing. Let me now save it. Now I will go to the BP grouping creation, right? Since we are working in the S4 HANA server, we need to know how to create a BP grouping. So where I am creating the BP grouping, I will be going into the cross application components. Then SAP business partner, you see something known as SAP business partner. Then go to the business partner, then basic settings, business partner number ranges and the groupings. Go to the business define number ranges. So I can take any one of the existing number range only. I will take the business partner number range as 08 only. You already know how to create the number range. So I am taking 08 over here, and I will be going back to create the BP grouping. So define BP groupings and assign number ranges. So I will take any one of the existing business partner grouping, and I will try to create a L001 as a BP grouping. L001, and I will assign the number range over here as a 08, and I will save it. So I just created the BP grouping as L001, and I assigned the number range to the L001 as well. Then I need to get into the master data synchronization. Where I will be doing the master data synchronization? It is there under, where is master data synchronization? Yeah, you see there is something known as a master data synchronization. So here I will go to the synchronization control. No, I will go to the customer vendor integration, prep, then business partner settings, settings for vendor integration, set BP role category for direction BP to vendor. I will just execute over here. So these are the roles, right? This is for the vendor master data, vendor master company code data, and vendor master purchasing data. These are the two roles, and these two roles I will be using the existing roles only. I am not going to create any new role. These are the SAP standard roles for the vendor master data. I will now go to the BP role for direction vendor to BP. So I will go to the, here whatever may be the two roles are there, FLBN00, FLBN01. I will select and I will assign to my new grouping which I have created. What is the new grouping? L001. L001, right? L001 we created, right? Where is L01? Where it has gone? We created L0. Huh? LG, did I saved or not? But why it is not taking over here? Or is it ZM01? Let me see. Okay, so for the grouping which I have created, vendor account group, I just need to assign the relevant roles over here. Let me now go to the field customer vendor integration. Let me go to the field mapping, field assignment for vendor integration. I will go to the assign keys, define number assignment for direction BP to vendor. So for a particular, I will select this. For a particular, I will go to the new entries. For a particular L001, nothing but BP grouping, I need to assign the vendor account grouping, that is ZM01. Again for ZM01, I need to assign the L001. Where I have to do that? I have to do that under define number range for direction vendor to BP. Here I will go to the new entries. For the vendor account group ZM01, I need to assign the BP grouping L001. So I will just save it. So this is the extra configuration which we need to perform as a part of S4 HANA if you are creating a vendor. Same way for the customer master data also, customer master data will be taken care by the sales and distribution consultants, not by MM consultant. Okay, so what can we do? So I think there are some people who wants to go to the office. So I thought I should take at least till 10 o'clock, but there are some people who want to go to the office. So I think we can stop the session till here today. We can continue on Monday.
Sir, I
Okay,
have some
Monday
doubt.
every batch. Pardon me.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు S4 హనా అనేది ఇంకా మనకి ఈసీసీ కన్నా సింప్లిఫికేషన్ కదా సార్, సింప్లిఫికేషన్ అండ్ ఫాస్ట్ గా వస్తుంది కదా. అంటే దీంట్లో ఇంకా ఎక్స్ట్రా టాస్క్ బీపీ అకౌంట్ క్రియేషన్ మళ్ళీ అది అలా ఎందుకు చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది సార్?
In S4 HANA, there are additional functionalities. There are additional functionality means complexity will be more, right? There are additional functionalities in S4 HANA. When a software came with up additional functionalities, automatically your complexity of the system will increase.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay, so there are some people who requested me to have the class till 9:30 today. Why? Because they want to go to the office. Next week we will plan to do it by 7 to 8 special class. Why? Because it will not affect the office timings of the people. 7 to 8 is fine for everyone, or do you still have concerns?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Fine, sir.
Okay, next week we can discuss 7 to 8.
Sir,
Okay, thanks for joining the call. Thank you. Bye bye.
hello.
Yes.
Sir, on Monday we are discussing with the previous topic, sir. Are we going with S4 HANA topic?
Weekdays like Monday to Friday, same how we are doing last week, right? Only Saturday we are going to have the special class. For that special class, I am requesting all to join in one class.
Okay.
Rest of the days, Monday to Friday, same timings, same topics we are going to discuss where we left earlier. So this is one of the class where we are going to discuss some special topics, which is common for everyone. Any other doubts?
Nothing. Thank you.
Okay then. Thank you. Bye bye.